Hi, I'm Transapient, and welcome to part the third of Transapient's Top 30 Godzilla Movies. If you haven't seen parts 1 and 2, links will be in the description below. I advise you to check those out before moving on to into this one, because this is the top 10, man. We made it. Alright, so without further ado, let's get right into it. At number 10 is Invasion of Astro Monster, aka Godzilla vs. Monster Zero. I was used to saying the other phrase. But yeah, how surreal is it seeing Godzilla and Rodan against a Jupiter backdrop? I mean, first of all, just had to get that out of the way there, but also this is one of those movies where even though I didn't see it a whole lot as a kid, I still find it kind of just really enjoyable because it's really basically an alien invasion movie with just a little bit of Godzilla thrown in, even though they are obviously important to the plot and stuff. But doesn't this one, I think I saw in some chart or whatever, that this one actually has the least amount of Godzilla screen time out of all the Godzilla movies so far? Yeah, but yeah, I think the whole and even though the plot of an alien invasion will kind of start getting old throughout the rest of the Show Us series, for this one is actually the one that I felt was done really good. Like the homeworld of the Exilians and the introduction and stuff, all really cool and stuff. Very, very cool old school sci-fi. One major complaint I have, if any, is, you know what I'm talking about, it's that damn noisemaker thing by Tetsuya. Yeah, I actually remember the name of that character only because of his relation to making that, the little thing that makes the noise that's the alien's weakness and stuff. Oh my gosh, that is, well, if they wanted to make it annoying, they certainly accomplished that. So, anyway, number 9, we have Mothra vs. Godzilla. Yep, this one right here is a classic for a reason. It is definitely one of the highlights of the earlier Showa era. And watching it, it's just a really fun to watch. I didn't find any parts especially boring or whatever, and I thought the integration of Mothra into Godzilla's movies and stuff was really well done, and this is one of my favorite Godzilla suits and effects in the original series too, because there are parts where like Godzilla's eyes would catch like glints and stuff, like it as if it were like his eye shine. Whoever designed the suit, that detail was really cool. But yeah, this one's definitely a really nice one. Anyway, number 8, we have King Kong versus Godzilla. Holy crap, this one's a blast. It's weird because obviously the first couple of Godzilla movies were more on the serious side, but then with this one, the third of the Godzilla movies, it's like they did like a complete 180 and into just pure goofiness, and then went back to somewhat more serious with Mothra and then Ghidorah, and then got progressively sillier throughout the rest of the series. But this one is, I find, kind of almost meta, because it's all about the money, of course, and even in the movie itself, like the characters, like what is this name, Mr. Taco of all people, he wants to get King Kong as part of an advertising thing, and then they start betting on who's gonna win and stuff. It's great. Also, my brother is the one who actually got me the DVD for this. So thanks a lot, man, if you ever watch this. And also, of course, if anyone who's seen this knows how ambiguous the actual ending is, which I'm calling bullcrap on that whole officially King Kong wins in the first place. I don't know, that's a damn tie. But we'll just see how much of a definitive winner they have come 2020. We'll just see about that. Lots of fun, this movie. Number 7. Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, giant monsters, all out attack. No, made it. Also Baragon's in there, but nobody cares about him. Anyway, yeah, this is certainly one of the more unique and definitely a high point of the Millennium series, because like this is the only incarnation where Godzilla is actually, or at least the only incarnation I think could, in the movies so far, that Godzilla could definitely be called evil in this one, because since he's a conglomeration of all the vengeful spirits and stuff during World War II, things like that. Like all the other movies, even in the ones where he's more of an anti-hero or a destructive force, he's more or less presented as, well, just that, just a force, And this one, he is actually evil. He's out to kill people, man. And the whole supernatural vibe to it definitely makes it very unique, and concerning all the, not just to Godzilla, but to all the other monsters too. And human scenes aren't too shabby as well. And yeah, this is just a... So yeah, this one's definitely ought to be on the list for me. And number 6, we have Godzilla 2000. That's right. This I feel this is somewhat of an underappreciated or underrated one, because even though I know it was rushed into production after Zilla 1998, it really doesn't feel like that to me. I mean, even knowing that I'm watching it again, I'm like, I can't really tell. Like, they did a really good job of presenting Godzilla, of presenting just a good, solid, simple story with the human characters. And I like the whole, the Godzilla Prediction Network, where they're almost like they're like storm chasers, but they're kaiju chasers, trying to like figure out how they work and predict them and stuff. It's all really nice or really cool. Orga is definitely, of course, one of the more just absolutely awesome Godzilla enemies, because first of all, of course, he's unique, but also because the way he, his very goal of trying to, absorb Godzilla's DNA makes the whole fight between him and Godzilla one of the most dynamic and interesting of fights of all the Godzilla series thus far, I think. So yeah, also of course it helps that I remember seeing this very early on as a kid, and even today the effects are some of the best in the whole series, practically speaking. So yeah, this one's definitely got to make the list for me. And at number 5, we have Godzilla versus Mecha Godzilla, man. This one is just an absolute just fun fest. I've always loved this. I've loved it since I was a kid, and watching it so many times, none of the... I can roll with every bit of it, all the human parts, especially the old man, oh, Godzilla! You know what I'm talking about if you've seen the movie. But yeah, it's definitely, as I said before, the Showa series, I think it pretty much its finest right here. The one thing I would change if I could would be King Caesar. I know his character and stuff was built up through the movie, and he probably didn't have as much of a payoff as he could have had, and I can't help but wonder what it'd be like if he had maybe his own movie before this, as a prequel, maybe set in ancient times and showing him first arising and becoming the guardian that he is today, of the island of Okinawa and stuff like that. So I wonder what that'd be like, But anyway, it's still all cool. He does his thing. Mecha Godzilla does his thing. Godzilla does his thing. I just love it all. No complaints, really. And number 4, also, yes, that includes King Caesar's song. And number 4, we have Godzilla 2014. No, that's not really why it's there. It's here because I really do love it that much. The portrayal of Godzilla, this is a near perfect portrayal, one of the near perfect portrayals of Godzilla I have, like, in my mind, like, put to screen. So it was just really great to see for me, especially since I knew that this was a successful in implementing of an actual good representation of Godzilla in an American movie, and to like the world it established, with the monster versions, the look and feel of it is all like super cool. What they have going on with Monarch, and the Muto scenes were excellent, and regardless of whether or not you think the lead guy Ford Brody was exciting or not, I've seen so many Godzilla movies where I just kind of skip through, or not skip through, but kind of haze through the human scenes. At this point, I don't really care anymore. He does an adequate job. But yeah, Godzilla 2014, he's my man here. Number 3 doesn't have Godzilla in the title, but it does have 3. Can you guess what it is? It's Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. Yeah, this is another super good highlight of the Showa one, and I think now that I think about it, this would actually make it my favorite Showa movie, just because, like, similarly to Mechagodzilla, it's something that I've grown up with and have watched so many. They're both so rewatchable to the point where I kind of love every part of it. And this one, I guess, wins out in the end due to its just how it pulls it in and really starts to establish like all these other creatures and monsters in the Godzilla movies, from, of course, Ghidorah to Rodan and Mothra and stuff. It's fantastic, and I like a lot of the human scenes too. Even as ridiculous as it is, Martian, or I hear it was a Venusian in the Japanese dub, but they changed it to Martian in the English dub for, I don't know, I guess the whole, we're more used to little green men from Mars and stuff, But the mind of a Martian taking over some princess and stuff, and she happens to be trying to be assassinated, and there are these guys that are after her, and they all dress these ridiculous outfits in their home country. It's really cool. But yeah, it's I got pretty much nothing left to say. It's that good. But aside from that, before I get into the top 2, and for those who have been keeping count, you probably know which 2 this is going to boil down to. But before we get to that, I gotta take a moment to have a top 5 bonus round of fan films. That's right. First off, we got Godzilla vs. Wolfman, the semi-lost, semi-found Godzilla fan film that features, of course, the Wolfman. And the clips I've seen of it are really cool, and it just feels, you can tell it feels almost like the designs and stuff, it feels so authentic to like a Showa movie. Like, this could easily be taken if one wanted to as part of the Showa canon. Also, we have Godzilla Total Destruction, which is going to be an upcoming animated or hand-drawn Godzilla movie. We'll see how that turns out. From what the few trailers I've seen so far, I don't know when exactly it's going to be finished, or even if it'll be finished at all. But from what it looks like it could be potentially interesting. And we also got Godzilla vs. the Kaiju Killer. This is actually a poster cover art by Matt Frank, I believe, and it's definitely got a cool, gritty kind of look to it. It kind of reminds me of something like, I want to say, Dragon Ball, sort of, meets Godzilla. Or at least that's what it feels like to me. Really nice stuff. Of course, we got Godzilla Battle Royale. Like, if you haven't seen this, just get yourself some popcorn and watch this. You can find this easily on YouTube, and it's hilarious. It's so amateurly made, but I mean that in the best possible way. It's you could tell they had so much fun making it. It's you gotta watch that. You'll have a blast. And finally, we got Godzilla Heritage, which unfortunately isn't going to be a full feature-length film so far. Damn it! But the world it has created still remains, and it is I like the how the Godzilla vs. Wolfman feels so authentic to the original, to actual movies, that it feels like it could be an actual movie. To where this one, like, they created like their whole own world and continuity and stuff. It's really awesome, and from everything observed, for me at least, if this were like an actual Godzilla movie, it would probably definitely be in the top 10 list. So anyway, if nothing else, at least if you for anyone watching, if you haven't heard of any of these, well, now you got maybe something to check out and stuff, you know? Anyway, here we go. Number 2, we got Gojira, aka Godzilla, King of the Monsters. And on to number 1 is, well, of course, can't just leave old buddy hanging like that. But really, what is there to say about Gojira that hasn't already been said dozens of times before? And because this movie has, of course, been analyzed and reviewed and dissected and just in more ways than I can count, probably by this time. Certainly more than I could put in this video. But yeah, it's a classic for a reason. I mean, it's effective, it's haunting, it shows why Godzilla is the king of the monsters. I mean, there's no other way to say it, man. But, of course, this is a personal top 10 list. And so, personally, I gotta go with what I like or enjoy the most. And now, this isn't a movie that... There are movies that I like because they're so rewatchable. Like Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla or Ghidorah, Three-Headed Monster. And then the movies that I wouldn't watch, of course, every day, only when I'd want to really, get something out of them. And that's this one and also the next one, which is number 1, Shin Gojira, aka Shin Godzilla. Now, this one too, perhaps because of the advent of the internet these days and whatnot, and how everything is so fast and stuff, this one's also been reviewed and analyzed and stuff a ton of different ways, and there's lots of ways that they would explain why I like it so much better than I could, again, in this video. But, so I'll just go with this. First of all, I've just made some really good memories with this movie, because I remember when it was coming out, it actually came out in a place that was near where I was, and it's a place where I go to school and my away from my family. But my mom sometimes she makes as much attempts to be near me or get business trips near where I am as she can. And when I mentioned to her that when she let me know when the next time she was going to be coming over would be, and I mentioned to her, hey, that's kind of around when the premiere of Shin Godzilla is going to be in the US. And next thing I know, where she texts me, we got tickets. So it was me, her, and a friend of mine went in to see it, and we just had such a good time. It was really cool. Also, it's kind of continued, because this is like one of the only Godzilla movies that I could watch like with my whole family. Like my whole family pretty much kind of likes it too, and it's just fun watching it, But also personally, why I like this one so much or why it takes top tier for me is because this Godzilla movie made me think, and like other ones make me think too. But what I mean by that is, it made me think of start thinking and speculating ways that, of course, when all the new stuff about Godzilla first came out, I was like, what the hell, But after it started sinking in, and I accepted that, and it got me speculating and wondering about how Godzilla could be done, and how new ways to look at him in ways that had never occurred to me before, in ways that I wouldn't have imagined, and stuff that I didn't think was possible. And so that's why it's definitely become an absolute favorite of mine. Now, objectively, I would have to say that the original Gojira would be objectively the best, because there's several things that Shin does that the way that it plays homages to other Godzilla movies, that it's great. But since it's taken from these, which was from those which was started by this one, I gotta give it to the original. And like, if our civilization was ending or something, and there was like a time capsule, and there was room, and then with remnants of our civilization and society put in, and there was room for one Godzilla movie, it'd have to be this one, of course. But personally, as this is my own top 10 list, for me, Shin Gojira for presenting a new way of thinking, or at least for me, of Godzilla in a way that I wouldn't have thought of before. It takes the cake. And that's it. So, as of this video, it is we're a few days away from the release of Godzilla Monster Planet on Netflix, the first of a trilogy of anime movies. And I suppose time will tell where those will fall on, not just mine, but everyone else's lists as well. So let me know what you guys think. How do you think Godzilla Monster Planet's gonna go on? Are you excited for it? If you've watched all my lists, what did you think? What's your favorite Godzilla movies? Thank you very much for watching, and have a nice day.